Good afternoon, this is KA4PNV here in the shack this evening. I thought it'd be interesting to do a little documentary here on Morse code. I use it quite a bit here in the shack. I use all the other digital modes too, PSK31, JP65HF, and digital voice, just about everything, but I love to work Morse code too, and sometimes late here at night I'll turn the rig here on in the shack, and a lot of times some DX can be worked on 20 meters, and a lot of times now during the day I've been working a little bit of DX on 10 meters. Developed in the 1830s and 1840s by Samuel Morse and other inventors. The telegraph revolutionized long-distance communications. It worked by transmitting electrical signals over wire laid between stations. In addition to helping invent the telegraph, Samuel Morse developed a code beginning with his name that assigned a set of dots and dashes to each letter of the English alphabet and allowed for a simple transmission of a complex message across telegraph lines. In 1844, he sent the first telegraph message from Washington, D.C. to Baltimore, Maryland. By 1866, a telegraph line had been laid across the Atlantic Ocean from the U.S. to Europe. Although the telegraph had fallen out of widespread use by the start of the 21st century, replaced by the telephone, fax machines, the internet, it was laid the groundwork for the communications revolution that led to later innovations. Now, Samuel Morse, although he invented a portion of the telegraph key and also the Morse code, way back in 1836, Samuel F.B. Morse, along with Joseph Henry and Alfred Bell, invented the electrical telegraph system before telephones were invented. It could send messages over long distances by using pulses of electrical signals. A machine to make the marks on a moving piece of paper. So apparently back then they had a way of putting the dots and dashes on paper rather than copying it by ear. Samuel F.B. Morse was the one to invent the Morse code system, but was using a system of numbers only. Alfred Vail expanded it into letters. In other words, Samuel Morse was using numerals to form a letter. So when he would copy the Morse code down, he would have a bunch of numbers on the paper, and they would have to be translated into the characters of the alphabet. And it was Alfred Vail that invented the system that we use now currently for Morse code, where a series of dots and dashes forms letters. But anyhow, it's interesting how it got started, and I guess that's what got us started basically into communications, and certainly has come a long way since then. I do use Morse code here in the shack. As you can see, I have set up here. I do have a bench of paddle down here on the bottom I use for sending Morse code, and also I have a program called CWGit that I also use for sending Morse code. You probably recognize that as being best. Over the years of using Morse code, I've developed a technique where I just hear the whole words rather than the characters, so I can actually sit down and listen to Morse code just like you're talking to me. I can hear the whole words, and usually the only thing that I will write down will be the person's name, QTH, for the logbook. and the rest of it I just hear, just like words, just like you're talking to me. And over years you develop a system like that. And that's basically the way you send it by hand there. Of course, we all recognize the 73. That's 73s, and of course my name is John. And basically you get the idea of what it is. I do use a venture paddle here, and as you can see up here I have up here and right here MFJ keyer that keys the rig. I also use the CW Git program. It's let me get it up here on the screen here. There it is on the screen. I don't know whether you'll be able to see it or not. I'll move the camera in a little bit closer to the screen there. But anyhow, there is a screen up there for that CW Git program. This camera doesn't do very good justice to the system there. And basically, down here on the bottom, I have a see if I can get a shot of this. A keyboard down here on the bottom here, as you can see there, that I send a Morse code with. If I'm using the computer, I would just, if I wanted to send a CQ, I would just hit F1. F2 would be my name QTH, and F3 would be the rig, and so forth. And see up there on the screen, the characters are being put out on the screen there. Now that is up there, the CW Git program there on the screen. It's not a real fancy program, but it does work. It has macros in it where you can put your name and QTH in and so forth. It's probably the best CW transmit program you're going to find. And over here this evening I have, see if I can move the camera over here, I have the old Swan set up here for CW this evening. The old, I guess you call it the sign up there. And I've been using it to work a little bit of CW this evening. Boy, there's somebody singing fast. Listen to that. Now what do you send that I'm copying in my head? This is the old Swan here, 270B, single sideband. I'll cut that down a little bit. That guy is really going to town there, sending that code. That sounds like it's about 30 or 35 words a minute there that he's sending. And I have this Swan hooked up here to the computer. So if I wanted to transmit, all I would have to do, really, let me get it off that frequency there. And slip it over here. I'll find a clear space there somewhere. Alright. Now, if I wanted to see if I wanted to transmit a CQ here now, I would just push the F1 key. I have the Swan hooked up to the computer, and I have a homemade interface that I have just like this one here. If you can see it there, basically this here is just a cassette case here, a plastic cassette case here with the interface built into it that's hooked up to the USB. It's hooked up to the 232 port on the computer. I forgot that's not hooked up to USB. That's hooked up to the RS-232 port on the computer, and I have a little interface built in there that's inside of that little cassette case there, the clear plastic one that keys the transmitter, and we'll hit the transmit button here and send out a CQ here. Okay, we're transmitting the CQ there now. If you can see the watt meter there, it's going up to about 100 watts there as it's transmitted. Okay, I didn't get any response with that, but a lot of times I do. Not too many people on CW this evening. There's somebody sending a little bit slower there. A lot of times I just listen for them to call CQ and go back to them rather than burn my rig up calling CQ. It's a lot easier on the rig, and sometimes I do call CQ there. Alright, let's cut this down here. But basically I just wanted to give you an idea of what CW is. All of my rigs here that I have, I can use them for CW. I have the old that rig sitting there is a Tempo 1. I use it for CW also. It has a tuner on it. And that one sitting beside of it there, that's an ICOM there. That is a ICOM IC730. I use it on CW sometimes, but mostly use it for PSK31, JT65, HF, Olivia, and whatever other modes, digital modes that they may be transmitting on there. I use that on 40 and sometimes when the 10 meter band is open. And the power supply that I use on that ICOM is a switching power supply. I was a little reluctant to buy it, but this is it up here. It weighs nothing compared to that this one I have up here on the top. That 10 amp there that I use there on 2 meters. That thing probably weighs about 25 pounds. I mean, it's really heavy. And this switching power supply here is really light. It don't weigh hardly anything at all. Okay, I just wanted to kind of get into some stuff here this evening. CW to make sure that that we don't forget about it. It is in ham radio. When I got my license, back then they required you to be able to pass the 13 word a minute code test, and I did pass it back then. Since then they have did away with the Morse code requirement in amateur radio, which I kind of wish they hadn't, but that's the way it is. And I think my camera's got crooked on me here for some reason. Alright, we'll level it back out there. Okay, I just wanted to give you a little tour here of maybe I should get the level out of the drawer here and see if I can level this thing up here. and see if it'll work. Well, here's a level here, but I don't think I'm going to use it. I'll just do with what I got. If it's crooked, it's crooked. Okay. So, and over here I have another rig set up over here. This tripod is beginning to be like an octopus here in the shack this evening. And this radio here, this is a HR, what is that? 2510, I believe President makes it. I use it on 10 meter PSK 3.1 mostly. That's what I use that for. And we thought we would give you a little tour here this evening of some Morse code activity here, and how we set up here in the shack and how we use it. And I do have a frequency counter over there I have a frequency counter there, and I have one up here on the top here. Let's see if I can get a picture of that one up there. That one there is a Hewlett Packard bench frequency counter that I use here in the shack, because these radios do not have a digital display on them except for the icon there that he was just looking at there. This one here, it does have a digital display on it. But as long as we got a frequency counter here, we're in good shape. We know where we're at and what we're doing there. Okay, I appreciate you taking a look around the shack here this evening. I just wanted to reminisce here a little bit on Morse code, and to remind ham radio operators not to forget it, to use it. And it's a very good mode. I have made many a contact on it here over the years. I have numerous QSL cards up here that I got back, I believe, during the last sunspot cycle there. As you can see them up there on the wall there. I have them there on the wall and in different places. I had some from Japan and Germany and in different places. There's one there from Australia, I believe. That one there. That one's from Australia. Vienna, Australia. Okay, but anyhow, I have a lot of cards here where I worked in DX the last time that 10 meter sunspot cycle was up. Okay, we're going to close this video out here before this tripod gets the best of me here and gets me down on the floor here and rattles me. Hit the headlock on me or something here. So we'll say 73s, and don't forget to use Morse code. It's a good mode. It's something we shouldn't forget and use. Don't forget our roots, where we come from, and don't let all this digital stuff overpower us. Okay, we'll say 73s, and God bless you. This is KA4PNV, John Lyons, here in the beautiful Shenandoah Valley of Virginia, between the Massanutten and Blue Ridge Mountains. It is a beautiful day outside today. Sun shining, it's 80 degrees, and I found 100 reasons why I shouldn't be out in the yard today working. I wanted to paint the porch, but I even found an excuse to get out of that. I'll do it Thursday. Okay, 73s, and we'll go ahead and close this video out. And I hope to meet you on the air there sometime on CW or PSK or somewhere. 73s.